So to create that, we are going to go into the character blueprint, third person. We're going to add a box collision. Just drag it out, and this will be the area that the character will find objects to look at and turn its head. So turn radius maybe on this. We want to set custom on collision, ignore all, and then overlap world dynamic. I also like to turn off hidden in game just so I can see it. So then what we want on the event graph is we want to add a new variable, and we want to call it the look at actor. This is going to be the actor we're going to see, and we're going to turn our head towards. So now we want to get a turn radius collision and add a begin overlap and an end overlap. Now on the begin overlap we want a is valid, and the is valid we want to check against the look at actor. And then from the other actor we want a tag, actor has tag, and this will be the way we check to see if the actor is a pickup or something you want to look at. So I call mine pickup, and then we want a branch. So branch, or the quick way of doing this is if you hold B and then click, you get a branch. So on the is not valid, so this won't have anything set. We connect that to there, and on the true, we want to drag this in, set, and actually set it as the other actor. So this means that we check if this has anything stored. If it doesn't, we check the tag of the actor we overlap. If it is a pickup, we will set it so we can look at it. Okay, so the next thing will be we want to go into the animation of the mesh. So we click mesh here, click the magnifying glass, and because Quinn is actually a child of Manny, we can edit Manny, and anything that happens will affect Quinn. So you can use this model or the other one to do this. So we want to add a sequence, new pin, and we need to create 3 variables. So we need a look at location, which will be a vector. We need a look at alpha, which will be a float. A look at speed, and a actor look at actor ref, we'll call it, and that'll be a actor type. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is valid to check if the look actor ref actually has anything stored in it. This is the way we check if we're going to turn our head or not. And then what we want to do is up here, or the delta time x, we want to drag down and create a multiply. So the multiply, we want to, from the bottom node, we want the look at speed, which I found that 4 works really well. So from the top of this multiply, we want to pull out a subtract, and we want the bottom node of the subtract into the top node here. This subtract node, we're going to put the look at alpha, and then we want to clamp the float. And clamp means it can only go between 0 and 1. So then, from this look at alpha, we want to add. We want the operator add. And we want the bottom to be from the multiply. And then we also want to clamp this node. So then we set the look at alpha here, and that will be not valid. And then we also set the look at alpha up here, and that will be valid. So I'll just leave it there for a second, just so you can see. So next, we want to actually change the animation. So we scroll down here, double click on anim graph. These shouldn't be here. These are from earlier. But you won't have these, you'll just have this. So we'll do it like this. We want to add a look at node, and this can control the skeleton and change it. So the bone, we want the head. And then what we want is here where it says look at location, click bind, exposes pin, connect it up. The alpha will be the look at alpha, and the location will be the look at location. Like this. Okay, and now we're done in here. So we go back to the third person character. So now we need to get a reference to that animation. So we scroll up to begin play, and what we do is we pull off the mesh and we type anim instance, and then we can promote this. So whenever we begin play, we get the animation instance, so the whatever is running, whatever animation blueprint is working, we get it. So we can name this anim BP. Okay. So what we do next is we need to tell the anim BP that we want to look at something. So what we do is we drag off here and we cast to Mani. This is cast into the blueprint itself, like the animation blueprint. And in here in Mani we want to set location, so we can set the look at location. We also want to set the actor, so Mani can see when, or the animation can see we have a target basically. So the look at location, we can drag off look at actor and get location, and we can put that in. And the look at actor ref, we can just either drag from here, or to make it a bit neater, you can pull look at actor in, and then so then on the end overlap, we want to check if the actor that's leaving the overlap has the tag pick up, and then if it does, what we want to do is we want to set this to nothing, but then we also need to set Mani's to nothing. I keep calling him Mani, but it's the animation blueprint. So we want to set this blueprint, and we want to set his actor reference to nothing as well. So now we can test it. We need to create an actor. We can test. We need a static mesh just so we can see it. Static mesh. We will put a cone is fine. Okay, and then remember we click up here on the root or the scene. We search for tag. We add a tag. Type pickup. And we can drag it into the world like this. Press play. Oh, I made a slight mistake. We need to go back into the Mani, and I actually accidentally selected look at speed, we want another look at alpha here. So you just change that, put that back into is valid. And then now the character looks. So the issue you have now is that the character is sort of breaking its own neck to look at the object. But this is an easy fix. So inside the animation blueprint, at the top, you want the animation graph. On the look at node, there is a look at clamp, and we set that to 45. So now, when we overlap, we look at the object, but we're not breaking our neck, and then when we leave it, we're back to normal. And then just to make sure, if we have multiple objects, so we look at this one, then we look at that one. At the moment, we don't have the system set up for multiple objects to check the closest, but I can add that into another video. It's a little bit more in depth, but this works for now for most things.